Okay, so when you walk into the polytunnel, it's kind of obvious some of the mistakes I've made. And even just seeing these pictures of it, I'm sure you can work it out as well. But like, basically, I got a bit greedy. Okay, so when you walk into my greenhouse, it's fairly obvious some of the mistakes I've made. I've just got a bit greedy. Got all this new growing space under cover. I want to see what I could grow, what I could fit in here. And some things I should have done, some things I shouldn't have done. So tomatoes were spaced really nicely, about 2 foot apart, strings going up. But what I did then was put French beans in between them in the hope of getting a few crops out, and then also having some beans to dry in here, and the heritage ones as well. Which worked well, but the trouble is, it's made it harder for the tomatoes to ripen, to find them, and also I worry then, am I going to get blight earlier and stuff because the airflow is not so good down low. They're dwarf French beans, I should say. The other thing is the supports, so I just didn't put in good enough supports really. I knew it when I was doing it, I was just trying to get a job done quick, put some string up, it's all obviously sagged. Okay, so it's compostable, but it's just not ideal. What I could do next time is put some wires across and then probably using some bather twine or something that's not going to rot off, because I've had quite a few of these. As you can see, this one's rotted off. So it wasn't ideal, but I knew that at the time. I also planted some of the wrong sorts of tomatoes, so I got some really early tomatoes, which I should have just kept up in the greenhouses. They just don't grow like a cordon tomato, so not so great to put in here really. I wanted kind of tall, high-producing tomatoes. Been some great ones though, like Tigerella. These black indigo ones, or indigo rose, sorry, have been really good. But there's been some, like I think I did like a Siberian type tomato, and it's an early tomato, and we got a few off them, but then the plants died off, and it's not good to have lots of dead kind of plants in this kind of conditions as well. The other thing was weeds. Probably should have planted this all through membrane or something, because I'm not great at weeding. I know I'm not, but I thought, first year in here it'd be fine, and weed load won't be that heavy. Obviously imported a load of muck to feed it all, so there's nettles everywhere. Not great, and docks and things like that, which also stops the airflow and everything else. So I think next year I'll probably membrane at least the middle section and try and keep on top of the outside ones. The other one I did was at the back there. I've got loads of runner beans. This was the idea of getting an early crop, and the crop I could save seed from because nothing else would be out in flower. But actually what happened was that it didn't really get pollinated. I don't know if that's my fault. The doors were open during the day, but it didn't really get pollinated. It hasn't really set many beans, and it's got so big now I don't even know if I could get in there to pick them if I could. And they've become a bit of a brute leaning over, and I can't now open the back door, so it kind of stops airflow. Like I said, I just got a bit greedy. The other one was I put these acachoas in, and you can see they're here, but that's probably 20 foot down to there where I planted them, and they're just such a brute. I do kind of like them because of that, and they grow, these little acachoas, which are a great oddity, and we do eat them. They're tasty as long as you get them small. But maybe I should have thought a bit better about what I was going to put where. I also grew some crops for seed saving. Again, because it's such moist conditions in here, kind of like a rainforest at times. It's not ideal for seed saving. Stuff doesn't seem to dry out quite the same, holds that moisture in the pods. So I'm having to pick the seed pods and dry them out somewhere else. Not ideal, but that's supposed to be the same outside. And the other one was not knowing my varieties of tomatoes. So I grew some, I just had no idea. If I got some brilliant seeds from America, did a bit of a seed swap with someone, and one was called Matt's Wild Cherry, and that has grown like an absolute mat of tomatoes. Again, kind of worry about blight. There's just no room for any airflow to get in there, and you have to kind of dig through to get your tomatoes out. Absolutely amazing, tasty tomato. Just probably should have put one in, whereas I put 3 in, and they've grown like this huge mat. So next time I'll probably just put one in the corner, let it do its thing, and then when it gets too big I can kind of hack it back. But yeah, next year I think space out the polytunnel a bit better, maybe put some membrane down or some better mulch if I can get hold of any. And yeah, I think it's a learning experience, but it's been so productive. I mean, we've had baskets and baskets of tomatoes out of here. We're preserving left, right and centre. So we've got some in the dehydrator now. I canned some last night. The cupboard's looking really good, full of kind of canned tomatoes. So it's just a case of trying to keep on top of it, picking every day if we can, and making sure next year I just give myself a bit more space. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up, like and subscribe, and see you next time.